Hi guys, and welcome back to a new video. In today's video, I will be talking about one item that I think is extremely valuable at the moment and that I'm sure you will be able to make a lot of gold with. This item is the famous cosmetic headpiece from Cataclysm, and this is the rhinestone sunglasses. So as you can see, it looks like that, and this is these very cool glasses that are very cool. So these glasses were added in Cataclysm, and unfortunately, they were not part of the different armor pieces you were able to transmog. So they have been added to the different items you can actually transmog only in patch 9.0.5, and so this is why at the moment a lot of people are looking for this item because they can now actually use it as a transmog, and so it really adds a lot of value to the item. So this item was for actually like a quite like a long period of time, almost like unobtainable, but now you can still get it. It's just very difficult to get your hands on it. But other than that, this is a very interesting item with a very good value and a very good sell rate. So as you can see, right now on European realms, on average, you have a value of 150k gold, and the average daily sold is 1.32, which is really good. And again, this is a cosmetic armor piece, so anyone can use it, and so this is why this is such an interesting item. And so yeah, this is really, I would say, something that when you get the recipe, you can just craft again and again, and you will most likely be able to sell it for a lot of gold. As you can see, in order to craft the item, you just need 2 of these true gold, 2 Chimera's Eye, 8 Hypnotic Dust, and 2 Dream Emerald. And so on average, like to craft the item, it will cost you like below like 10k gold, or maybe on some realms like a little bit more, like 15k gold. But it's not too expensive, and so even if on many like hyper realms, a lot of people already get the recipe and the value is only at around like 30-40k gold, you can still make a decent profit even selling it at like 30 or 40k gold. But again, on most realms, people just simply don't have the recipe yet, and so the prices are extremely high. And so this is why if you're one of the few people who can get your hands on this recipe, you will be able to literally print gold with these sunglasses. So the only issue with these sunglasses is that it's very difficult to get the recipe. The recipe is part of the few ultra rare patterns from Cataclysm, and so in order to get them, you really need to just be extremely lucky. So as you can see, if you're going here, you can see that it drops from any wall creatures from Cataclysm, and it has also been confirmed to drop from some of the like wall creatures from Mist of Pandaria. But again, there is just a higher probability that you will get it in the different zones from Cataclysm. There are just a few mobs that are very well known to drop the recipe, and these different mobs are the different world bosses from Cataclysm. So you have 5 different world bosses. You have Julak Doom that is in the Twilight Highlands just here. You then have Gar that is in Mount Aigel and is just here. Then you have Xariona that is in the Deep Home. She's up in the sky, so you need to go a little bit up. You have like all these rocks that are just flying there, floating there, and you can like see her. She's like moving, so just make sure to make the round, and normally you will find her. And then you have Akamat in Uldum that is just there, you know, like at the entrance of this like temple. And finally, you have Mobus that is just circling here. Again, you should be like at the same level as the shore, so not deep into this like like thing, but really you should see him very easily because these are all world bosses, and so it's pretty easy to spot. So all these different world bosses are available in these different zones, and right now the only things we know is that they might respawn every like 4 or 5 hours, and so it might be a little bit difficult sometimes to find them. But again, there are 5 of them, so it's still a pretty easy way to like get multiple occasions. So when it comes to the value of the item on US realms, as you can see, this is also pretty good. So 99 k gold to 250k gold, and on most realms it's going to be like more than 100k gold, or like 90k gold, so still very good. So there's not a lot of information available on this recipe. The only things that have been confirmed are the fact that in order to get the recipe, most likely you will need to have a jewel crafter. You don't need to have the profession maxed out, but you need to have just one in the Cataclysm profession. Also, apparently, some people are saying that you can get it even if you don't have a jewel crafter, but it hasn't been confirmed. So this is why I would highly recommend you to do it on a jewel crafter. When it comes to the different mobs, again, the GMs have confirmed that you can drop really from any creatures in Cataclysm and also Mist of Pandaria. But again, there is just a higher drop rate from the different world bosses. So this is why I would really recommend you to like focus on these different rares. If you're killing also the other rares that are available in the different Cataclysm zones, you might also get a chance. But again, for now, most people are saying that they got the recipe from the different world bosses, and so this is why I'm going to focus on the world bosses right now. One other pattern that is actually very rare and very interesting is the high society top hat. See, this is another one of these ultra rare patterns. So if you're doing the farm, you might want to do the farm also on a tailor. So as you can see, for instance, me, I have tailor and jewel crafting because you might get the recipe for this one as well, even if this one is not as interesting because you cannot transmog the item, unfortunately. And then you also have like a few more patterns from Cataclysm that are all the different like monocles. So these monocles are pretty cool. And as you can see, they have like different colors. And yeah, the only issue again with these monocles is that there are not yet items that you can actually use as a transmog. Maybe they will in the future, but for now they're not. And so this is why, as you can see, the sellrate is like just 0.01 because people are just not interested in buying these different items. So they are still pretty interesting, and you can also get your hands on these different items. So when it comes to the best way to farm these different world bosses, I would have to say that you can simply come here in Orgrimmar or in Storwind, and then use the different portals to travel to the different zones. One thing that I would recommend you to do in order to like multiply by 2 the number of rares you can kill is to use war mode. So if you're using war mode, you can easily, for instance, go in one zone and then kill the rare and then remove war mode. So there are different zones where you can remove your, war mode. So you can disable it. It's only in the places where you can like set up your Hearthstone, and so you need to find one. So if you're in EGL, you can, once you've killed the rare, go here in the Shrine of Abiana, and then you can come back directly. So it's very short. If you're in Uldum, you will kill the rare here, and then you can go back to Ramakan. You cannot do it in this one, so you need to go back to Ramakan in order to like remove War Mode on. If you're in the Deep Home, unfortunately you cannot do it. So what you can do instead is once you've like killed Xariona or you see that it's not up, you can go back inside the temple and take the portal to Orgrimmar, and then come back, remove one mod off when you're in Orgrimmar, and then you can like kill Xariona again in one mod off or one mod on. And then if you're in the Twilight Highlands, here you can easily come to this place, the Blood Gulch, and you will be able to remove one mod on. And the last area is Vashir. And so Vashir, when you arrive here, you just go kill Mobus, and then you can come here in the Silver Tide Hollow. Again, I'm not sure if this is only for Horde or not, but most likely you will also be able as an Alliance player, and otherwise I'm sure you can find some other sanctuaries around. So some of them might only be for like old players, but still I think normally they should work for like most of the players. So like that, you're really able normally to multiply by 2 the number of world bosses you can kill, because again, in each zone you can kill the world boss in one mode on and in one mode off. And so as you can see, on average, when I'm doing it on my character, I'm able to like kill maybe like 7 or 8 world bosses. Again, I'm playing on a low pop realm, so it's way easier to find the different bosses. But still, and I would say that if I'm really just focusing on the world bosses, it will take me on average probably like around 20 to 25 minutes to kill all the different bosses. And of course, in order to simplify these different travels, each time you've killed the world boss, like in the two one more difficulties, then you can use your Earthstone to go back easily to Orgrimmar and set up the one more on again and go to the different portals. You can also use like different type of items such as the cloak that you can get from the guild vendor, or also your different Earthstone from the garrison and from Dalaran, because these two then you can easily take a portal to go to Orgrimmar. So normally, really, it should not be too long, and this is something you can do every day. You can also do it like multiple times per day, but I'm usually doing it like maybe once a day. I'm trying my luck, and then I'm doing something else. You have, of course, other ways to do this farm. For instance, I know that some people just like to create multiple toons and they leave the toons where the different, world bosses can spawn or not, and they just log in, see if the world boss is up or not, and then log off. The only downside is that most of the time you won't be able to use the one mod on and one mod off. You would either be in one mod on or one mod off, and so it removes like half of the chance to find the world boss. But again, it's really for people who just don't want to spend too much time traveling between the different zones. There is also another way, and this is simply by when you find one of the world boss, like tag the boss, and then if you have other icons, you can bring some of your other toons from other icons, invite them into your group, and then tag the boss with them as well, and they will also get the loot. So you can increase your chances like that, but it requires way more organization. And yeah, I'm just not a big fan of that, but I know that some people are doing it, and that's probably like it will increase a little bit your chance. Just requires a lot of coordination and a lot of just time to log in all your different characters, and so this is why I'm not personally a big fan. So really, for me, this is the best technique. Like that, you should be able to multiply by 2 the number of kills for the world bosses, and also hopefully you will be able to multiply the chances to get the recipe. So if you just want to also add a little bit of value to these different runs you're doing, you can also farm the different chests that are available in all these different zones. So for instance, if you're going in the Twilight Highlands, you'll get many different chests. You have 2 different type of chests in all these different zones from Cataclysm. You have the sturdy treasure chest, and then you have the silken treasure chest. So the best one is the silken one, but the sturdy can still get some pretty interesting transmog. So in all these different chests, you have some weapons and things like that that are really just specific to Cataclysm and that have unique appearances. So in order to get them, you need to get them from the chest or from killing rare mobs and everything. So these items are pretty interesting. And then from the silken one, and I think also actually from the sturdy one, you can also get the Orb of Deception. That is like a very, very cool toy, and you will most likely be able to make a lot of gold. So if you want to do that, you can, for instance, when you're in the Twilight Islands, when you're starting here, you can come collect these different chests. If they're here, then you can kill the boss, try to get more here, and then directly come here, reset. Just try to look here the same, and then you can use your cloak or Earthstone to go somewhere else. Please note, of course, that once you get one of the chests, it means that it won't be in the other locations. Don't wait your time. Like if you find it directly, don't try to find another one because it won't be there. If you're in Mount Aijol, so here, when you start here, you want to start directly here, go all around here and then go to the Silken ones. And then after that, you can go to Kilgar, try these 2 if these ones were not available, and then go reset and do that again. Here, as you have 2 different type of chests, you can get one of the sturdy ones and one of the silken ones. So here you can get 2 different chests, which is really good. After that, if you're in Deep Home, it's a little bit more annoying because you will need to fly way up in order to find Xariona. And then these chests are down, so you'll need to go down. But you have all the silken chests all around here that are pretty interesting. So I would also recommend you to do that if you have a little bit more time. In Vashir, unfortunately, you don't really have chests, so it's not really worth it, trying to look for them. And then in the last zone, which Actually, I think no. Actually, I think it's all good. So yeah, these are like the yes, and the last one is Uldum. And so in Uldum, when you start here, you want to come here, like try to get this chest, kill the boss, try to get these ones, and then come back. If you really have a little bit more time, you can try to get these ones, but it will take way more time. So these are like the ones I'm trying to get, and like that you can really multiply, the amount of gold you will make. So as you can see, to just give some examples, these are all the different items from the chest. So for instance, here you have this sword that is like a unique appearance. You have this oversword, another unique appearance. You have this staff. You also have like this gun, and you can find like many other things. Then, of course, I didn't mention it, but from the different world bosses, you will also get some raw gold. So I think for each of them, it's like more than 200 gold. And then for each of them, you'll get like 2 BOEs and 1 recipe. And so some of the BOEs are actually pretty interesting. For instance, the one from Mobus, as you can see, this polearm can sell for like 2, 3K. Then you have like the one from Julak Doom, the dagger. This one is actually pretty good as well, 2K on average on most realms. You have like some shared loot, such as this one, and then all these different items, but they're not really worth anything. Some of them can be a little bit interesting, but most of them are just like trash. You also have the one from Gar that is like really trash because it's not even like a unique appearance. And then you have like a lot of cloaks, things like that, and of course like some trinkets and rings and necklaces that are completely worthless. So these ones you can just vendor them directly, but still it will add you a little bit of value. And then there are also two rares that I think are interesting to mention. So you have one here, Armadillo, that is available just here. It can drop this mace here, this one, the Armadillo Tail, that can sell on most runes for like 1K, maybe 2K, and this is like 0.0.3, so it's not too bad. And then when also you're in Bashir, you can of course kill Poseidis, and Poseidis can drop the mount, and it's an easy like 5 to 7K gold on average as well. But again, it can be a little bit tricky. So what I do is when I'm here killing Mobus, if you have a little bit more time, you can go here. Like Poseidis can be here, and then I just like go here before going to reset. But you can also, if you want, go here, and go here where Poseidis can be spawned, and you will maybe be able to kill it and make a little bit more gold with the mount. So these are just a few tips in order for you to increase the amount of gold you're making while trying to get the recipe. But again, if you really just want to focus on the recipe, just do my first technique, which is, like killing the world bosses in one mode on, one mode off, and then coming back to Orgrimmar, quickly going back to the portals, turning on one mode on again, and doing that again in all the different zones. And like that, you will be able to, sometimes have like 10 kills in like 20, 30 minutes. And like that, you will most likely at some point be able to get the recipe. So really, please don't expect to kill a few world bosses and get the recipe. This is extremely rare. So for instance, some people said they killed like thousands of world bosses in order to get the recipe. And so this is really something that I want to mention, because I'm sure a lot of you are gonna say that it's not really good information because this is so rare that it's not worth it. But again, this is, I think, completely worth it, because even if there is such a small amount of chance, the item is just so worth it that when you'll be able to get it, then you can like easily craft this item in mass. What people are also doing, of course, is that once they have one crafter with the item, they just craft a bunch of these items and then transfer them on other realms, as probably like on European realms, for instance, probably like just like less than 10-20 people have actually the recipe and can actually craft the item. And so trust me when I'm saying that really, like, you will be able to make a lot of gold. But again, it will take a lot of time. And so this is why I'm only recommending you to do it if you're patient enough and if you're really committed to, do the farm and try to get the recipe. So that's going to be it for today's video. I really think this is a good item, and I really think it can like brings you a lot of gold. If you're trying to get the item, please let me know in the comments, like like how many world boss you've killed so far, if you've been able to get some of the other rare recipes or not, and if you get the recipe, please let me know. I would love to know exactly, for instance, which was the world boss you killed, on what type of characters, and all these type of things. But yeah, So I will be back very soon with more videos, but in the meantime, I wish you the best of luck if you're trying this technique. And yeah, I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.